Welcome to One Question at a Time, the TSI series. This is the pre-test. The purpose of this test is help you to prepare for the TSI A2 test, and it will help you to know where to start. So you may need a sheet of paper and a pen or a pencil. A calculator is not necessary to have. A quiet place to take this pre-test. You can pause the videos if you need more time to review. If you don't know what the question is about, then you should choose your favorite letters A, B, C, or D and move on. Good luck. Let's start. Now is the time to check your answer. For question number 1, we have addition between the two fractions. So we will need the common denominator, and we see that the least common denominator here is 8. So to make 4 become 8, we multiply by 2, but because you will want to change the fractions, so we multiply the top and the bottom by 2. Okay, so now it becomes 6 over 8. We add 5 over 8. Now it's the same denominators. We can add the top together. 6 add 5. Okay, and that is 11 over 8. So B is the correct answer. Number 2, a shirt originally cost $40. It discounted by 25%. What is the sale price? So they discount 25% mean the price, the sale price will be about 75%. Okay, so 75%, and we remember we say percent, right? So 75 per mean over, cent like 100, cent 100, percent is something over 100. So 75 over 100, this one is 25 times 3 is 75. Okay, 25 times 4 is 100. So this one is 3/4 or 3 over 4. Okay, the sale price is 3 over 4 of the original cost. So we can take 40 and then we multiply by 3 over 4. Then you will have 40 is 4 times 10 times 3 over 4. We cancel the 4, then we have 10 times 3 is 30. So it's $30. Or if we know that we have the method of $40 is about 100% of the price, right? So we want to ask how much for the sale price if we sell it with 75%. We have to know it discounted by 25%, so the sale price percent is 75. Okay, so cross multiply, divide by the rest. So we cross multiply, so we have the question mark is what asked me about these questions, right? So we have 40 times 75 and then over 100. And remember, for this method, the columns have to be the same unit. See that? And this one is not the subtractions. This one is not the, it's just kind of like the relations between that two unit. Okay. So for this one, we still have 75 divided by 100. That is 3 over 4, just like this ratio, right? Then we have 40 is 4 times 10 times 3, okay? Times 25, let's write down the whole thing. 25 times 4, okay? So we have 25 cancel, 4 cancel. That left with $30. Okay, so number 3, We have, if 6 notebook cost $9, how much does one notebook cost? So we apply the method we used in the previous questions. We have 6 notebook. Okay, it's about $9. Now they ask one notebook. You see, I write the columns with the same unit. Now one notebook is how much? So this is the question mark. The only 3 given numbers we can do the cross multiply is that way. So 1 times 9, the question mark is 1 times 9 divided by 6. And 1 times 9 is 9. 9 is about 3 times 3. Okay, 6 is about 3 times 2. So if we cross like that, we have 3 divided by 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So $1.5. So C is the correct answer. Number 4, a car travels 180 miles in 3 hours. What is the average speed? So remember the speed or the velocity. So we have distance over time. Why we know that? It's like the speed or the velocity, right? So D, you see that is the length we travel, so it will be mile, right? And then time is hours. So that's why when you plug in 180 over 3, you will have the unit for the speed or the velocity will be mile per hours. Because that is the unit of the distance over time. Okay, and this one is 60 mile per hour. Okay, so C is the correct answer. Number 5, which fractions is equivalent to 6 over 9? So 6 over 9, we know that 6 is like about 3 times 2, 9 is 3 times 3, and 2 over 3 is the simplified ratio, right? So 2 over 3 is B, is the correct answer. Number 6, simplify. So we have the expressions 4x plus 7 minus 2x. So we have two, we can call category, or if we know specific name for it, it's term. It's called the term. Okay, so we will combine like term. Like term mean they have similar look. So it's kind of like you're counting x. So this is you have 4x, then you subtract 2x. So you have 2x, and then right here plus 7 left over, so we just drop it down. So 2x plus 7. A is the correct answer. So you see like x, just like if you thinking about if you have 4 candy, right? 4 candy. And then you have $7. But then you eat. Subtract means you eat 2 candy. So now they're asking what you have left in your pocket. Okay, so at the beginning you have 4 candy, you eat 2 candy, you have 2 candy left. Okay, and then The money you can combine, you cannot combine with like the candy. The money and the candy you cannot combine, so you just drop it. See that? So it's the same for this one. The 7 and the x terms, like 4x, 2x, is two different terms. So they cannot combine. That's why you drop the 7 down, and then you combine just the same term, the x terms. So 4x and negative 2x. Okay. Number 7, solve for x. So as we know that the tip here is you see positive, you do negative. You do opposite of what you see with the same amount and then do the same for both sides. Okay. So on the left hand side, this is called left hand side that equal the right hand side. Okay. So on the left hand side, we have 5 minus 5, that's gone. We isolate x, and then we have 12 minus 5 is 7. Then x equals 7 is the correct answer. Now solve for x. Remember we said we do opposite of what we see with the same amount both sides. So now we see 3x mean 3 times x. Okay, 3x mean 3 times x. Okay. So right here we have like the multiplications. We do the divisions both sides with the same amount in front of x, right? So 3, that is cancelled. Now we have x equal 18 divided by 3 is 6. So B is the correct answer. Number 9, which expressions represent 5 more than twice a number x? 5 is number 5, more than mean additions, twice mean multiply by 2, a number of x, so 2x. So we can write out 2 times x plus 5, that is the expressions. C is the correct answer. You can find the keywords in the TSI questions number 31. Number 10, solve 2x minus 4 equal 10. Now it's the combination between question number 8 and 9, the previous one. So we have to isolate the x terms. So this is the x terms. We isolate it. So we want to get rid of the negative 4. We see negative. We do positive. Same amount, 4, both sides. Okay, cross. Then we have left hand side is 2x equal 14. Now we see 2x means 2 times x. So we want to isolate x. We have to do opposite of multiplication is divisions. And then we do with the same amount of what we see in front of x. So we isolate x. 14 divided by half divided by 2 is 7. This is 14 times half and 14 divided by 2. Okay, so C is the correct answer. Number 11, what is the slope of the line represented by y equal 3x plus, minus 2? So this is y, the formula for the linear equations. Okay, the linear equations. So this one, you can watch the Math 13, 14 playlist. This will be in week 6. Okay, so y equal mx plus b, and then m in this case is the slope, b in this case is the y-intercept, Okay, so now they're asking for the slope of this line, y equal 3x minus 2. So you see x right here represent that whatever in front of x is the slope. Okay, so this question is just looking at it and then answer it. If you know the formula, if you don't, so that will be hard. So making sure you know the formula. Question number 12. Which equation represent a line with the slope 1 and y-intercept is -4? This is kind of like they repair for you in the previous questions, right? So we still use the formula y equal mx plus b, and of course y equal m is the slope, the y-intercept is b, so 1x, okay, minus 4. Okay, so you can do plus and then open parenthesis minus 4 because b value is -4, but then we can have to rewrite one more time. So remember 1x is mean 1 times x, right? That is x. And also you may see it later, but you will use x to the power of 1. It's the same thing as it. Or x divided by 1 is the same thing. Okay? Or 1 times x. It depends to the questions. Then we will use what form it will be easier for to calculate. So now we have 1x is x. Okay? Plus negative, which just mean when you have the parenthesis, you distribute that inside, right? This is the multiplication. It's the same thing as plus 1 times -4. But because anything times 1 is that thing, that's why you don't see that number 1 in front of the parenthesis. But we have to understand that is positive 1 right there. So we multiply, we distribute inside the parenthesis. You have positive times negative, that is negative. Okay, opposite side, that will be produce negative, and then 4. So the correct answer is C. Number 13. If x equal 2, what is the value of y? Okay, so you have x right here. So you just kind of plug in because x equal 2, right? X equal 2. So when you see x, you plug in 2. Y equal 4 times 2 plus 1. Okay, now this one will be equal 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So C is the correct answer. I know most of the questions in this packet is C is the correct answer, but then don't assume that in the real test they will do it. So making sure, check your answer. And sometimes they do that. So if you have like the same letters for your answers, it's okay. But making sure you're confident with your answer. Now solve x minus 7 equal -2. So remember, we always want to isolate x. So you want to get rid of minus 7. So -7, we do opposite, positive of the same amount, both sides. Okay, this one cancel. Then you have x equal 7 minus 2, that is 5. C is the correct answer. Which point lie on the line y equal 2x? So if the point lie on a line that will fit in these conditions, okay? So in this case, you know that x always in the first positions, y in the second positions. Now we check. In this case, x equal 1, okay? So y will be equal 2 times 1. When you see x, you plug in the value of x here, okay? So that will be y equal 2, not 1, so A is not the correct answer. We check it every time. So here x equal 2, now y will be equal 2 times 2. You see I put the parenthesis around the x so that I knowing is this the value of x inside. That will be 4, not 3. Is cancelled, be not the correct one. X equal 3, and then we try x equal 4 as well. So y equal 2, and then x in the parenthesis. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6. This is correct. But we have to check for D as well, so making sure we don't do kind of any error. Okay, y equal 2 times x, so x equal 4. We plug in the parenthesis. We have 2 times 4 is 8, and not 5. Okay, so C is the correct answer. Maria earned $12 per hour. Okay, how much she will earn in 7 hours? So actually, it's just the multiplication, right? You take $12 times 7, but of course, we always can just set it up. So we have $12. Okay, you set that is like in 1 hours. Now, if it in 7 hours, how much you earn? Okay, now cross multiply, divide by the rest. So we have the question mark right here, and then we have 3 of the given numbers. We can also just one way to do it, the cross multiply, that is 12 times 7, or 7 times 12 over 1, divide by 1, divide by the rest. Okay, so 7 times 12 divided by 1 is just 7 times 12, right? Okay, anything divided by 1 is that thing. So 7 times 2, you can set up. Okay, 7 times 2 is 14, write 4, remember 1. 7 times 1 is 7, remember 1 is 84. So this is 84. You don't need a calculator, but if you need it, you can use it, okay? B is the correct answer. Number 17, a rectangle had a length of 8 units and a width of 5 units. What is its area? So in this question, they're asking you if you know the rectangular shape, if you know that. Okay, and then we have the length is 8 units, and then you have the width is 5 units. What is the area? So the area of the rectangle is the length times the width. Okay, so the length is 8, the width is 5, so we have 8 times 5, 40. Okay, number 18, which number is the solution to x squared equals 16? Remember, when you solve for the square root property, you use the square root property. The square root property said you have x squared equal a number 8 when you do the square root both sides. Okay, if you take the square root both sides, you need the plus or minus on the result. So it could be x, because the square root cancel, right? You have left with x plus or minus square root of a. So this one means you have two solutions. X equal square root of a, that is the positive in front, and you will have x equal negative square root of a. Okay, you will have two answers. So this one we do the same. We have x equal plus or minus square root of 16. Now x equal plus or minus square root of 16 is 4, because 4 squared is 16. Okay, so we will have two answers. X will be positive 4 and x will be negative 4. So C, the correct answer. Number 19, if a number is multiplied by 4. Okay, so a number, let's call that number is x. Multiply is by 4. Okay, you multiply by 4. Okay, then you decrease, it means subtract 6. The result is equal 10. Okay, let's write that down one more time. We have 4x minus 6 that equal 10. Okay, now we solve for this problem. We see negative 6, we do positive 6 both sides. That isolate for x equals 16. Now we see 4 times x, you divide both sides by 4, then you have x equal 4. So C, the correct answer. The temperature is negative 3 Celsius degree of Celsius is increases by 7 degrees. What is the new temperature? So this one is from, you can draw the line, okay? We have 0 right here. This is the negative 3, and then it's increased 7 degrees mean unit, right? Degree is the unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 degrees increase. Okay, so you add 7. This is mean negative 3, you add 7. And this one is positive 4. Because you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2, negative 1. So that mark right here is 4. Okay, so this is the same thing, and we're doing negative 3 and 7 that equal 4. You see 7 is bigger than 3, so the sign of the result will be belong to the bigger number, so that positive 4, and of course we should write 4, right? So C, the correct answer. Congratulations, you have done with the TSI A pre-test. The result of this pre-test will help you prepare for the TSI A2 test. If your score is 18, 19, or 20 out of 20, you are ready to take the TSI A2 test in the playlist One Question at a Time, the TSI series. If your score is below 18, I recommend that you participate in playlist One Question at a Time TSI, take notes, and practice more. After you take the TSI A2 test in the playlist One Question at a Time, the TSI series, you will know if you are ready to take the actual TSI A2 test in the testing center. Good luck! Thank you for participating in this series, and see you next time.